Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you. So see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. A couple of weeks ago, I got into a fight with my girl over something stupid. We argued over what time we was going to meet on the weekend, and she left me for it in the end. Last weekend, I saw her at the cinema with another dude, and I was pretty hurt. But yesterday, she started messaging me asking if I think we could work again, and that she missed me. I'm hella confused, guys. What should I do? I know Jamie's answered that.
Yeah, fucking get rid. Block and delete. What else can I say? Now, if you think about it, what's happened there is there was an excuse, a petty excuse, if anything, for a breakup there. And then what's turned around and happened is she's gone and tried to see if the grass is greener, realised it's not, and then has decided that she wants to retry with you. Which, if you were in early dating stages, is totally fine. But if you're 3 years in, I don't know how long this guy's been with this girl. If you're 3 years in and you're doing a Ross to Rachel, we're on a break thing. That's not how things work. Do you know what I mean? There was a reason that was a fucking storyline in Friends in the 90s. It's the same. Like, you just don't do it. And to know that you were caught at the cinema with the other person as well, and still have the audacity to come back, go fuck yourself. You're a narcissist.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
She's blatantly like had some attention from like a guy at work or something, and she was just using it as an excuse, like, oh, I'm not in the wrong if like we're technically not going out.
Yeah, and do you know why I know that people do that? Because I've done that. I've done it about 3 or 4 times because I was a piece of shit at one point as well. So this is what people do when they're unsure about their relationships. She might really be into you after this, but how can you trust that she won't do it again?
Oh yeah, fuck that. Like, there's no. I don't care if like you could see into the future and like you're going to be the strongest relationship ever. No.
Trust is broken. In my eyes, the trust is broken.
It's just like if he did it to her, right? Like if she was like, okay, I'll take you back. Then all that person's thinking is, oh, hey, that wasn't too bad, that one. I could probably get away with that a couple more times. You know what I mean? It's like, no, don't lower your standards and show that, because it's just a show of weakness for them. Like,
but what I would do, saying that because I've gone in a bit two-footed straight away, what I would do is confirm with her that it's not like a cousin or something. Because I had this conversation with Charlotte when this email first come to us, and Charlotte was like, her friend Kirsty, she goes to the cinema all the time with her cousin, and if her partner hadn't met her cousin just out of circumstance and then sees her with him, you'd assume the wrong thing, wouldn't you? So just double check that before you go in two-footed.
There's a great episode of Black Books. Do you remember Black Books?
Oh, Black Books, yeah, I used to love that show.
Yeah, there's an episode where I can't remember their names, but the woman and the main guy,
Declan Moran, isn't it?
Declan Moran, yeah, they turn up and one's got like a broken arm and one's got a broken neck. And the episode is about how they got it. And hers, she went on a date with this guy, and then she's getting her hair done or something, and she sees him walking down the street with a woman.
Oh, really?
So she's like, oh no, I need to find it. And like she's trying to, and she gets told that the best weapon against a man is like silent treatment. So she goes into the same restaurant as him, and she like blanks him, and he's like trying to talk to her, and he ends up like twisting her head round and like straining her neck because he's trying to get her. It's the fucking greatest episode ever. But yeah, that's exactly the same situation. Like he's actually out with his sister.
Yeah.
And she just sees him with another woman. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's very fucking coincidental though that it's like
Oh,
that's a
very
really
coincidental.
stupid fucking reason to break up with someone.
Very stupid. And in my eyes as well, like, if that was me, going back to old me, I would have found things like as peculiar and stupid like that to fall out over and then get in with someone quick enough so then it would look like seamless if I was to decide to go back to the other person. So
Seamless.
yeah, but trust me, you always get caught.
Yeah, because me and Sabine, because I was telling you last week about my inability to change recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Sabine almost got into an argument on Saturday because, like I said, I was cooking dinner for her mates
Mm.
and it had lentils in it. And I said
Mm.
to her, I was like, "Oh, do you mind helping me with this recipe? Because I've never cooked with lentils before. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right." And in the recipe, it was like um, sweat all like the onion and stuff like that, and then put the liquid and the lentils in and let them cook through that. Because lentils, you have to let them absorb the liquid like risotto.
Yeah.
And I'm just about to start cooking, and Sabina's like, "Oh, can you go put the lentils in some water?" And like I turned to her like she'd asked me to like kill someone. But the recipe says to put them in after the carrots and that. And she's like, "Yeah, but they need to be softened. You got to put them in water." And I'm like, "But the recipe says." And she's like, "You know what? Just do it however you want to do it." And I'm like, "No, it's fine. I'll put them in water." And she's like, "No, if that's the way the recipe wants to do." And I was like, "Oh shit, I fucked this up now." But like, I could feel what my face looked like when she asked me to do something that wasn't in the recipe, and I was like, "I'm gonna get myself in trouble." But it was
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of it. It's literally like someone had handed me a knife, and they've gone murder that bloke there, and I'm like, "What?"
And
In
then,
the
like,
end,
the further you were getting into it, the further you were digging down as well.
yeah. Like I can't because I read a recipe about 1,000 times before I actually make it, so I could see the recipe saying, and she's like, "You have to put them in water," and I'm like, "But." In the end, the dinner turned out fine.
Well, that's how you know you're a proper couple because you have infuriating conversations like that.
Yeah, I like she quickly got over it. Like she obviously knows now that what I'm like and just left me to it. But yeah, but that's the situation, right? That was a silly argument, almost argument. Just like this, like what time are we meeting up? Like Sabina could have quite easily turned around and been like, "I'm done," while she's painting my dining room. But like, yeah, no, it's just I don't know. It's just such a fucking. I absolutely agree with you. Like, double check. Just say like, "Oh, I saw you at the cinema the other day. Who was that?" And
Yeah,
you'll know if she's lying. Somehow, I don't think it's going to be a cousin, but yeah, it's definitely good to have the clarity.
it would be, and I think it will give you peace of mind either way because then if you go into it 2-footed, then find out it's the cousin afterwards or a brother or something, and you've absolutely fucking rinsed her for the last 20 minutes shouting at her, then you're going to look like an even bigger dick.
I wouldn't even. I would just block her. I wouldn't even give her. If like, well, obviously, be like, "Who is that?" And if she's like,
That was my friend
like,
Stuart. I'll be
yeah,
like, blocks.
block,
Fuck you,
yeah.
man. Fuck
That
you.
it makes me laugh because I keep bringing it back to 90 Days, but that's what I'm watching, right? This woman's in Ethiopia. She's had a kid and she's with her fiance, and her best friend is her ex that she divorced. She'd been with him for
Oh,
like 10
God.
years,
Right.
and she invites him over to stay in their house in Ethiopia.
Oh,
So he
really?
comes over, and obviously the fella's like, "I don't care how nice he is. Like, I don't trust him." And then in front of him, she's going to him, "Oh, were you hurt when we got divorced?" "Oh, yeah, I thought we would always get back together as well." And I'm looking at Sabina. I'm like, is she actually honestly having this conversation right now in front of her new
Mate,
husband?
I would start a fire in the house. I would start
Oh
a
man,
fire.
he chokes the fucking like this guy's like proper nerdy. The ex.
Mm,
And this Ethiopian, he's like fucking, he does like fighting and that. And he's
mm.
like, I'm not going to do accent. He was like, "Oh, I'm taking him down to the gym just to have a man-to-man with him because he was going to work out." And they start the Ethiopian guy puts the pads on, and the nerdy guy's like punching the pads, and then it's like like how men get that it goes too far. So then he starts hitting him in the head with the pads,
Yeah.
and then they start going at it like wrestling, and this Ethiopian guy gets on his back and he's got like his legs round like his waist, and then he's got him in a fucking headlock, and the guy's tapping and he's just squeezing, his head's going like fucking red like a tomato, and he's hitting the pads and the guy's just fucking breaking his neck. Oh, it's so good. Fair play to him, man. Fair fucking play. But I don't get this right, is that she's in this country, he hasn't got any money because this is during COVID, because I'm watching previous episodes.
Right.
So we're on the third season. She was in the second season. From the second to the third season, she's had some fucking face stuff done. She looks like one of the Who's from The Grinch. And I said,
clearly profited from that first season being on the TV. That's what
I said to Serena. I was like, how can she live in a third world country and yet she's had a fucking face done during COVID as well? Like, where the fucking Ethiopia are you going to get a fucking facial done?
Don't know. Maybe COVID. Bob down the road fucking opened up a clinic called Faces.
We'll move on to the next scene. But I had to say, I fucking loved it when she'd literally just given birth. She'd got out the taxi at the hotel, and he goes to her like, "Oh, my family are here. There's a ritual we do in our culture. It will take a couple of minutes. Just stand there." And they bring this goat out, and I'm going to Spina. They're going to kill that goat. And she's like, "What?"
Sacrifice it.
And the woman's going to him like, "Oh, why is there a goat here?" And then they flip it over, and I'm like, they're going to fucking kill that goat. And it's in the street, and she's just staring down at it. She's just had a fucking baby, a C-section, and she's watching this family butcher this fucking goat.
Oh, mate, that's fucking mental.
Her eyes are like red, and he's like, "Oh, it's over. And she's like, "Why did they just do that? Like, I just want to go to bed." Just killing this goat. I was like, that's fucking mental.
Just touching on that weird situation with living with the ex, yeah. There's a family member. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to give it away. But there was a family member. I went to their wedding.
Oh yeah.
Me and my dad went to their wedding, yeah. And their ex-husband paid for the wedding dress for the new wedding, yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, this is mental. And then the new wedding dress was paid for, and then he was a caterer, so he catered for the wedding, yeah. And then when me and Dad already thought it was weird as fuck that he was there, and then when we went to the reception, do you know, like they have like families on different tables. His entire family, like mum, dad, brothers, sisters, and all that, were all at like his ex-wife's wedding.
I couldn't do that. If like my brother was on it, I'd be like, "No, I couldn't do it, mate. No."
That's so strange, isn't it? And like, I just said to my dad, I was like, "Is this normal?" And Dad was like, "I don't want to talk about it. He's like, "Just don't look over there," he said.
I can understand to a certain degree the catering, right? Because it's a business and
you get probably paid for it.
Yeah. But everything else is like, fuck off, man. No, not a fucking chance. Please don't be like this guy. See if it's a cousin, and if it's not, get the fuck rid of her.
We'll see if that's kept in. If I'll run that by my mum. If she tells me I'm allowed to keep that in, I'll keep it in.